So, first video. What am I doing? What am I posting? What am I recording? Essentially, I'm on self-improvement. Okay. I have a lot of dream goals that I want to achieve, and they're big goals, very big goals, in regards to like financially, health, these types of things, like life in general. I decided, okay, what's a good way for me to really track my progress, or even motivate myself even more to push and continue and push even harder than what I'm doing now. I thought, you know what, I'll make videos about it. I might not get any views, I might get 1 million views. That's not my goal, that's not my focus. My focus is my goals, my dream goals that I want to achieve. And this is sort of a way for me to document it, kind of see, week by week, month by month, just year by year even, in the future, to see where I am, where I'm at, the progress that I'm making. And I also want these videos to be in a way like to make me accountable. If someone watches this, today, and then a month later they see, oh, he hasn't made progress, they're gonna tell me, oh, you haven't made progress, you haven't done what you said you were gonna do, which is the whole purpose of these videos. So essentially, I have 2 dream goals. Let's just get straight into it. All right, the reason, what's going on. This is what I'm doing. 2 dream goals. Okay. First goal, financial. This is my financial goal for the future. My long-term financial goal is to have a passive income of $10,000 a week. All right. By the way, I'm in Sydney. I live in Sydney. My family's here. My place is Sydney. So my aim is to make $10,000 a week passively. What does passively mean? It means I'm time free. I don't work for my money anymore. I don't have to be in the same place, and that's it. I'm time free and I'm location free. So I can travel wherever I want. The money still comes in even if I'm in China. Even if I'm on holiday, even if I'm in China, I still make $10,000 a week. That's my long-term dream goal. Now, my aim for that, the time frame, is between 7 to 10 years. Okay? How am I going to achieve this? What do I have to do? So, okay, that's a big goal. That's my dream goal, that's my long term, that's what I'm working towards right now. Okay? First step, okay, to know, okay, so to get to that goal, $10,000 a week, what is it going to come from? That passive income, where's it coming from? It's coming from rental properties. Okay? I want to buy a property, like a really bad fixer-upper property that needs a lot of work. I'm a builder. I'm a carpenter / builder. I've done a lot of renovations in my time. I'm 24 years old, by the way, as well. I've done a lot of renovations, done a lot of work in construction. I'm a carpenter now by trade, and my background was building and renovation. So essentially, I want to buy houses that need a lot of work done. Okay, in any area. Fix them up myself as best as I can, and then rent them out. As soon as they're renting, I'm going to refinance the property, okay, and then I'm going to use that money from the refinance, the equity, and do the second property, and do the third property, and do the fourth property. Now, I'm sure you guys have heard of this method. It's called the BRRRR method, the BRRRR. Alright, it means buy, renovate, rent, refinance, and repeat. Now, the way this method works, okay, is it's kind of a compound effect. The first property that you do, you make in rent, because basically in Australia, in Sydney specifically, I live in Sydney, you won't find anything under $600,000, $700,000, $800,000 anywhere in Sydney. And for that, you got to do the math. To buy a property that's 600 grand, and trust me when I say you won't find something for 600k, like nothing. Land is 600k plus, just land by itself. Like to build on it, you need another 300-400 grand to build something worthwhile, like a duplex or something. So essentially, that's the problem with Sydney. Now, outside of Sydney is a different story. The further away from Sydney you go, the cheaper the properties are. Like right now, I'm looking at a property in Queensland. It's not even near the capital city. It's nowhere near the coast. It's in the middle of Queensland, in the outback. It's called Longreach. That's the area. The property is $130,000. Okay, it's a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 2 kitchen. Like it's a 4-bedroom house that was split in half and made into a duplex. So it was rented out separately, and that's what I'm gonna make it as. I'm gonna continue it as that. So 2 kitchens, 2 bathrooms, 4 bedrooms, or 2 bedrooms on each side, 2 entrance, 2 front entry doors, blah blah blah, whatever. 1,200 square meter land. Now the reason why I'm going to Queensland is because to buy that exact property here, 1,200 square meters, like you're looking at least $1 million in Sydney. Easy. You can't forget 1,200 square meters. You buy 450 square meters in this city is going to cost you, just the land by itself is going to cost 650k. And I know what I'm talking. That's Sydney. That's just the way it is. Anyway, that's my first property that I'm aiming for right now. I'm going to go to the inspection next week. I've got an inspection. I'm going to drive down in this van 20 hours with my mate Mitch. I'm going to drive down. We're going to do the inspection. Okay? And we're going to see how it goes. Maybe it goes well, maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's a bad property. Whatever. We're going to see. Essentially, the whole point of this is to buy something that's really bad. The structure is still good. The structure, either whether it's brick or timber, the structure is still good. It's sound. It's good. Got good bones, as we say. But it just needs a lot of work. Okay. Now the work, as a builder / carpenter myself, I can do anything. All the framing, I can do all the patchwork. I can, install the kitchen. I can do the skirting, the doors, the architraves, everything related to timber. So about 60% of the work I can just do myself. I have all the tools. I've got the experience. I've been doing this for a long time. That's where I'm going to save a lot of money, and that's how essentially the money that you save in a renovation. Okay, say you save $10,000 in a renovation, you still added $10,000 in value to the property as equity, but it didn't cost you a cent because you've done it yourself. It costed you some time, but that's not what we're talking. We're talking about equity right now. Okay, yes, it's going to take me a bit of time. It's going to take me, say, 6 weeks to fix this place up. It's going to cost me about $20,000, $25,000 to fix it up. Materials. I still have to get like a tiler and an electrician and plumber because I don't know how to do that stuff yet. But everything else I can do. And the money that I save from that, like I can save myself about $10,000 to $15,000 doing this all myself in that 6 weeks. Plus, I'm gonna manage the work myself as well. So there's a lot of savings by me going out there physically, living in Longreach in Queensland, which is a very long way away from home, in the middle of the outback in a small town with 3,000 people. That's Longreach. It's far away from anything else. And yeah, that's the plan. So once that's renovated, once that's fixed up, I'm gonna rent it out and refinance it. So from the numbers that I've calculated, okay, obviously this is my first property. Whatever I know, it's not backed by experience, it's only backed by theory. Okay, I know a lot of people that do this type of stuff, and like being in this industry, I have a lot of experience, but not first-hand experience. I've just seen a lot of other people what they do. But anyway, the numbers, I buy it for 130k. It's gonna cost me, to be conservative, to add that extra bit, because I know it's might cost some more. Let's say $30,000 for the renovation, so I'm gonna be all in at 160. Okay, and then once it's renting out, I know that I can rent it out each side. So, like I said, I'm gonna rent it out separately. Each side will get me about $230 to $250 a week in rent, and that is just according to how good I do it. So let's run it at 250. That's what my real estate agent said. The guy that I'm buying it from, the real estate agent that's selling the property, he told me that if you do it really well, you add air conditioning and like all that stuff, you can rent it out for 250 each side. So my cash flow, it won't be positive cash flow. I still have to pay the mortgage and I still have to pay a property manager or whatever. But the income that I'll be getting from it will be $500 a week. My mortgage of $100,000 will be about $100 a week, a bit less depending on the interest rate. Could be more, could be less. It's hovering about $100 a week. And yeah, property manager, like they're usually 5%, so about $30. Insurance, blah blah blah. I'm looking at expenses about $180 a week roughly. Okay. Now, so I'm going to have a positive cash flow of at least $300 a week after this property is finished. Okay. Now, for a refinance, I can look at Like I'm looking at about like a 4-bedroom, a standard 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom house, not rented out separately. A standard 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom, one house that is a single family home. It sold like roughly the median price, and this isn't like renovated brand new. This is like average, like good, not bad but good, but not amazing. I'm gonna make my one amazing. About 275 grand. Now that's worst case scenario. I get 275 evaluated. If it's considered 2 separate dwellings and they're rented out separately and there's a good return on investment, there's a great income from it, $500 a week. Right, you're looking at what, like at least 300,000 plus. All right, now don't forget I'm all in at 160. So if I get the minimum, which is say $300,000, the minimum equity, valuation of 300,000, my equity that I can actually pull out, so the 80%, my cash out refinance I can do is about 240. 80%, yeah, 240. I'm all in at 160, I get out 240, and I'm still have a positive cash flow of $300 bucks, let's say $300 for simplicity's sake. So that's my first goal. That's my first property that I'm going through. That's the plan that I have right now. That's what I'm aiming to do. I can only say that this is my first time, and it's always the hardest at the beginning. The first one's always the hardest in anything that you do. The first time you do it is always the hardest. That's what she said. Yeah. So that's my plan. That's my first property. Once that's done, the equity that I build up from that property, I put into the second one, and then into the third one, and then into the fourth one. After about 4 properties that I do, they're going to be small ones. That's what I'm planning to do, 4 little ones. So it's just one house on a block of land, you know, that needs a renovation. After about 4 properties, my equity that's built up will reach like $300,000-$400,000. Once I hit about 400 grand in equity, I can then go on to bigger things, you know, buying say a duplex or buying something bigger, something with more potential to make more return on investment. So for the first year, like we're towards the end of 2022, I should have my property signed and mine, like the settlement should be say by Christmas, by New Year, sorry. So I'll have my first property, that's my goal, to have my first property by the end of this year, so in about 6 weeks. And I'm going to the inspection, and I've already paid the 0.25 deposit, the holding deposit, sorry. So the property's mine, it's just I need to get the loan. I'm still waiting for the bank to approve my loan. If not, I have to go through a hard money lender, which is going to cost a bit more money, but it doesn't matter. It is what it is. And yeah, so all I can say is I just have to practice. This is my first time getting my foot into the water and just seeing where this all takes me. You know, I've got a lot of plans. It just comes down to how it all goes. Anyway, after 1 year, I'm expecting to have about 4 of these, because on average it's going to take about 4 weeks settlement time. The renovations should take about 2 months. You know, that's 3 months. Refinance, like, you know, a couple of weeks and all that. About 4 months each. I should be able to do 1 this year, so I'll have my first property this year, and then 3 by the end of next year. And that's only the beginning. So after I do these 4, I've built up enough equity, I can do multiple. I can do 2 or 3 at a time if I wanted to. Just depending on what's my plan after this one. But, so my long-term goal is to have $10,000, like I said, in passive income. So what does that mean? I need, if I'm sticking to, let's say, smaller size properties like this, where I'm making $500 a week in rent, I need 20 of these properties to be making $10,000 a week. I need 20 of these properties paid off, completely paid off. So my plan, if I can average at the beginning and throughout these 5 years, right? I need 5 years. If every year I'm buying 4, I'm buying, renovating, renting, refinancing 4 of them a year, then in 5 years I'll have 20, and that 20 will give me $10,000 a week in income, passive income. I'm gonna spend, so that's the and I learned this from a YouTuber named Thatch. The first step is accumulation. So you want to accumulate properties. you set yourself a goal, how much money you want to make per week. And I set myself $10,000 a week. Okay, that's my goal. And to get that, I need 20 properties that are each cash flowing $500 a week. All right, that's not 10,000. So the first 5 years, I'm going to accumulate these 20 properties, and in the second 5 years, so the next 5 years after that, whatever money I make from them, I'm going to put straight back into them to pay them off. So essentially, 20 properties in, I have a mortgage of however big it is for all these properties. They're all paying their own mortgage off and extra. So all the money that I have from these, all my income will be just thrown into these mortgages to pay them all off. Once they're paid off, okay, I'll have a $10,000 a week passive income and no mortgage. That's when I'll start my next stage. I want to get to that point. Why do I want to get to that point? Now, that's the goal that I have, okay. My dream goal, like I said, that's my dream goal. I've explained, like, in my head, I've planned out and I've written this down. This is how I want to achieve it. And now is why do I want to achieve it? Why did I choose $10,000? What's driving me to achieve this? Now, first of all, $10,000 a week, why that number? My goal in these next 5 to 10 years is to retire my family, to retire my parents, my mum and dad, like, they're getting older, and I don't want my dad to keep working. Like, I want him to retire. I want him to have, at least, be comfortable, be free to know that he doesn't have to work. If he wants to work, he works, but I want him to be completely comfortable not having to work in his life, the rest of his life. He can go on holiday, do whatever he wants. Okay, I want to retire my dad. Okay, that's the step. That's the first reason. And obviously the second reason is for myself, because I want to have a family. I want to be time free, and I want to be location free. Okay, I don't have to always worry about, I gotta go work today, I gotta wake up early and go to work, and all my effort, all my hard work is going to someone else. It's not coming to me. All my time that I'm spending on this job isn't for my benefit, it's for someone else's benefit. I am getting paid for my work, obviously, but that's not the point. The point is my purpose. My purpose is to make a change for myself. Okay, I want to make money. I want to use that money to invest, and the investments is what's going to pay my bills. What I'm doing now isn't paying my bills, it's paying my investments. I'm not creating wealth, I'm creating an income. Like, I'm working now, I'm a carpenter, I'm a subcontractor, I do carpentry work for people, and I get paid by the hour or by the day. I have a day rate. I'm not gonna get rich doing that. I'm not gonna get wealthy doing that. I'm not gonna create wealth. All I'm doing is just creating an income. And that income, I can spend it in two ways. I can spend it on myself, on my bills, and on, going out and buy a nice car and do this and all that, wasting all my money. Or I can use this income that I'm generating as a carpenter to put it into an investment, to invest it. And my investment is what then pays my bills and my fancy Ferrari and Lamborghinis and all these things that people want. That's not what I want, but I have my own things that I want to buy, and my own plans, my own, things that I want to achieve, and my purpose. Essentially, my main goal, I'm not fussed about the dollar amount, like how much I'm making and how much, I'm not the type to think, I want to buy a nice car. Obviously, I'm going to have a nice car, but my main focus is being time free and location free, is having a passive income of $10,000. Okay, once I hit that goal, obviously I'm not going to just sit at home and stop working. No, I'm going to keep doing this. I'm going to build an empire out of it. Okay, but the first step is achieving that goal, and that's my first goal, my dream goal. With that money, I can then travel, and while I'm traveling, I have my kids, my wife and my kids to be. I have a missus. I'm engaged, but I'm not married yet. And when I have kids, I want to be in a position where I can choose today. I don't want to do anything. I want to go to my kids' soccer game, or my kid has a graduation today. I want to go there, and I have to not worry about anyone telling me that, you have to go to work. Or if I want to go travel today, I don't have to ask my boss, can I go travel? No, he's going to be like, no, you wait till Christmas. I don't want someone to tell me always, you can't do this, you can't. I want to do whatever I want. I want to be time free and location free. That's the reason why I'm doing this. Okay, I've been working for so long. I'm only 24, right? I'm not like some 40, 50-year-old guy that's been working, 30, 40 years. I'm only 24. But I know myself. I know how much potential I have to achieve greater things. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Anyway, I don't want to keep waking up in the morning and thinking about working for someone else. I want to wake up every morning and continue. I'm on self-improvement, so I'm trying to work on myself anyway, but I'm waking up very early every day. But I want it to be for myself, for my own purpose, for my kids, for my wife, for my family. That's what I want. So that's why I set these big goals. And they're not big goals. They're big goals to people that think they're big goals. To me, it is a big goal because I haven't achieved that yet in my life. Never achieved that. But if I don't set these big goals, what am I going to set? $2,000 a week, but I'm making that already. I'm not fussed about that. I want to think big. Thinking big allows you to achieve big. The bigger you dream, the bigger you achieve. And it's true. And honestly, when I was younger, before I was into self-improvement and I was a degenerate, playing video games and binge eating and blah, 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 not caring about anything. I used to work. I've always been a hard worker at work. I used to always make good money and whatever as a kid. But I never thought about myself. I never thought about my physical health, my mental health, my emotional health. And it's so important. So that's why I set myself these big goals, and that's what I want to achieve, and I'm going to. There's no way if I just follow these, if I follow my two dream goals, which I haven't got into the second one, my first one only I've spoken about. If I follow these plans, there is no way that I won't achieve them. Okay, let me repeat that. If I follow this plan, there's no way that I won't achieve these $10,000 a week. There's no way I won't achieve. I will achieve it. It's 100% chance that I'll achieve it as long as I follow my plan and my routine and my schedule. Anyway, that's goal number one. That's my financial goal for my life or for the future. My second goal, and this is also another big dream goal of mine, is to basically hit 10% body fat percentage. So this is my physical health plan. Now right now I don't know what body fat I'm at now. To give you a very brief history of my life, the heaviest I've ever been was 150 kilos. Alright, I'll say that again. I used to be 150 kilos. I was a binge eater. I used to always work. I was always a hard worker, and I used to even go to the gym since I was a kid. But I just loved eating. I loved eating, and I'd eat so much food every day. I'd go to work, have a big day at work, and I'd come home, just eat before I sleep, eat when I wake up. Always just eating. I put on so much weight. I was I went through, when I was in year 11, for example, I had an operation. It had nothing to do with my health. I was actually a healthy kid. In high school, I was healthy. I wasn't overweight. But the problem was, I had a back, what are they called? I forgot what it's called. It's like an ingrown hair. I had an ingrown hair on my back, on my lower back, and I had to do an operation. And after the operation, I was in bed for about 3 to 4 months. If anyone's had an ingrown hair operation, like in that place, like on your very lower back, they're basically cutting your back open. You can't walk, you can't do anything. So I was in bed for about 3 to 4 months, and I was young, and I used to love playing video games. Like I used to play RuneScape as a kid and Minecraft a lot, and Call of Duty. So when that happened, I was in bed for like 3 to 4 months, and all I was doing was just every day, oh mum, can you get me a snack pack? Oh mum, can you buy me this? Oh mum, I'm hungry. Mum, pasta, noodles, bread, this, rice, like a lot of carbs. And I was just sitting, I was playing, I couldn't even sit. I wasn't even able to sit. I was in bed. I was lying down every day. You know what I mean? Like, oh man. Anyway, long story long, or long story short, whatever. I put on a lot of weight. I had the same operation 3 times in my life, and I had a slip disc when I was younger. Because when I was young, when I was like 14, I was working as a labourer in construction, and I was working big days, and I had a bad back from it. I learned my lesson, obviously, but it had an effect on me. Like right now, I'm fine. Like I don't have back problems, like back pain. But when I was younger, I did. So a lot of factors, and I loved eating. So like, it's not like, I can't blame those things why I put on weight. No, it's my fault. I love to eat. I ate too much and I was lazy. Like even though I was in bed for like a couple months at a time and it happened 3 times to me, I didn't care. Like it's still my fault. I have to take full accountability for that, because if I don't, then I'm not going to improve. You know, it's my body. I made those decisions. I ate that food. I did that. It's my time. It's my responsibility. I have to fix it. So yeah. So I was 150. All right. The first time I lost weight, like, it was the time that I put on all that weight. I remember I had just like recovered from that surgery, the last surgery I did, and I was going to work, and with that surgery, like, every day you have to go to the doctor, to the nurse, the doctor or the medical center, whatever, like your local medical center, every single day at a set time, and they have to change the bandages, the bandages on the wound. So I remember once, like, I'd usually go in the morning before work, so I was working, just doing a light duty at work, so I wasn't under too much, like, carrying too much, because I couldn't, because of the surgery. But once I went after work, and when I went after work, the nurse saw me and she's like, bro, like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, your face is red, your eyes are red, you look like you have a very high blood pressure. And I'm like, well, I just finished work. She's like, yeah, but you shouldn't look like that after you finish work. She's like, have a seat. So I had a seat, and she was like checking my blood pressure and, you know, my heart rate, and it was like through the roof. I don't remember the numbers, but it was really high. And I knew that every day after work, like, I come home, my face is red, I'm very, very fatigued, and my eyes are red, and like, I do have a high blood pressure, but I never thought anything of it because I've always been like that. You know what I mean? I've always been that way. I've never thought of it as an issue. I thought, oh, you know, I just finished work. That's how it should be. Anyway, she checks my heart rate. She checks this, checks that. She's like, you got a problem. You got high blood pressure. I'm like, what does that mean? I don't even know what that means. I don't know what the issue of that is and whatever. She's like, you have to lose weight. You know, she asked me, like, does anyone in your family have it? I said, then I remembered my dad always, like, he takes pills for he's got high blood pressure, and like, it runs in our family. Apparently, like, my uncles have it, and my grandfather, who's passed away now. I've never met my grandpa from my dad's side or my mum's side. Yeah, my grandfather from my dad's side has high blood pressure as well. So, like, it runs in the family. So if I'm overweight, then I could potentially die at a young age. And that's what she said. She's like, I was 150 kilos at that time, so, like, I wasn't gonna live that long. Like, I could have probably died at 35, you know. And when she told me that, I was shocked. Like, that genuinely, like, shocked me. You know, I think at that age, I was like 19, 20-ish, maybe a bit less. I remember I was at uni. I'd started uni, but I was still working, like, part-time, kind of. Like, I was working like half days at work and the other half at uni, whatever. But I was just, that changed my life. That one time, she was a really nice nurse. Like, she was an older lady, and like, every time I'd go and she'd change my bandages and that, like, we'd always have like a nice conversation, and like, she'd always mention like Lebanese food because she loved Lebanese food. I used to always tell her, yeah, I'll get you some Lebanese food as a joke, whatever. She was a really nice lady, and that conversation changed my life. You know, I started to think about it. I'm like, bro, that's true. If I'm overweight and I've got high blood pressure, I know the science behind it because I researched it when she told me. I started to research it. I understood the science behind it. I'm like, I might die at 35. Like, who knows? I might be dead at 35. Like, I don't want that. And that's the first time I felt that, like, life is important. So I never had that thought. I've never been in a situation I needed that, and I was, you know, sitting at home putting on so much weight. I was obviously in a very bad depression. I was really depressed, so I never cared about any of these things. But it hit me. Anyway, fast forward a bit longer, a bit further. I started the diet. I lost 30 kilos. I remember I dropped to 120, and being 150, dropping to 120, you're still not healthy at 120. But that's the first time I lost a lot of weight, so I was like really happy, and I was, you know, in party mode and whatever. But I ended up putting like another 5-10 kilos back on, and I'm like, I think a bit more actually. I ended up putting a bit more weight, and I'll put on a bit more weight, and then, so I'm just parking, I'm at work now, I'll just sit in the car for a bit more, I'll talk a bit, I'm gonna have to wrap this up. But yeah, so anyway, I lost the weight. I lost like 30 kilos. I put a bit more weight back on. I stopped the diet for a while. That's why I put on the weight. And then I remember once, like, I was with my mates, like, we were working, we were away from home, like, we were working. I was doing solar panels, installing solar panels with my mates. Like, I was working for my mate's company, and we went for like a long distance job. Like, you know, we were sleeping outside of the home. We had a motel room and stuff. And we were sitting, we were gathering around, and like all the boys were there because we were all helping him. We were all working for this guy, like for my mate. So all the boys were working. It was like 5 of us, and we were sitting one night, like talking, having a chat. And then one of the boys just said to me, like, you know, because he was on a calorie deficit. Now before this, like when I lost weight the first time, I had no idea about calorie deficits. All I did was I went to a dietitian. Okay, she told me, you know, just eat this, eat that, blah blah blah. Don't eat this, don't eat that. And I followed it, and I lost a lot of weight, but I didn't lose enough. Anyway, so my mate explained to me the basic concept of a calorie deficit. You know, like your body needs this much calories to maintain itself. If you have if you have more than that, the extra calories is going to be stored as fat. And if you have less than that, then you're going to burn that calories from your fat storage in your body. So, and it clicked so hard in my head that day. And I just started, the next day I started the calorie deficit. Right. So, yeah, so I pushed really hard. I went 6 months. I was about 140-ish at that time because I'd put on a lot of weight back on. And after about 6 months, I went down to about 90 kilos. And that was the skinniest I had ever been. You know what I mean? So yeah, that was crazy. That was really good. And I maintained that. I actually maintained that for about a year and a half. I went to Lebanon. I met my missus, I met my missus. I went to Lebanon to see her, and I spent 6 months there. And I put on a lot of weight there because I wasn't doing anything. You know, back to the same problem. Like the first 3 months, I remember I didn't put on any weight. I was like maintaining it. I was like, I can't eat, I can't overeat. And then it just hit me, like I was just 6 months doing nothing. Like, what are you doing? I was bored. And obviously it's my fault. Like, I'm accountable for that. But I put on another 20. Like before I went Lebanon, I started bulking. I remember, like I started bulking, so I put on about 8 kilos in muscle. Like I was getting big. So I was at about like the 98 kilo range. I remember at the time I went to Lebanon, say 100 for simplicity's sake. And after those 6 months, I was 120. I put on 20 kilos in fat. And yeah, I came back. I'm like, this is no good. I gotta start again, bro. It's not as bad as the 150, but bro, 120 is still not good. So yeah. So I'm on my self-improvement journey now. Like this, I came back from overseas I came back end of June, so it's been about 4 months and a half-ish, 5 months roughly. And so far I've lost about 8 kilos. Well, actually 2 weeks ago I weighed myself. I was 112. And I now made the decision because of what I was doing before. Before that 2 weeks. So 2 weeks ago and before that, I was just doing calorie deficit. I was working in a normal and just doing calorie deficit, and I wasn't training. Now it's been a week and a half. So since last Monday, I've been training at the gym, and I said to myself, I don't care about my weight anymore. I care about my body fat percentage. Because weight, it's just, you're on a calorie deficit, you're losing fat, but you're also losing muscle. So I said, okay, I'm going to train at the gym to maintain my muscle. Okay. And I'm just going to like continue the calorie deficit. Okay. I'm on 1,500 calories a day, and I'm doing intermittent fasting. So I'm eating at 10 o'clock. At 10 a.m. I start eating, so I can eat at 10 a.m. and I have to stop eating at 6 p.m. And I've been doing that now for about 10 days. And I've also been meditating every morning. So I wake up, basically my routine is I wake up at 3:50 a.m. I wake up, go to the bathroom, wash my face, put on my contact lenses, and I meditate for 10 minutes. About 4:30, my morning routine's done. I go to the gym, which is about 3 minutes from my house. I train. I get back home about 5:30, so I get like a good 45-50 minute workout. I get back home, I shower, go to work. 7 o'clock I'm at work, I start, which is right now, I gotta go. 7 o'clock I start work. 10 o'clock I have my first meal, which is technically my breakfast. And then after that, I finish work at like 3:30. By the time I get home, it's about 5. You know, sometimes I work a bit later. I get home about 5:30. I eat, shower. I start fasting, so I stop eating at 6, and I start reading. I'll just read some books at 6 until about 7:30. I go to bed, and I'm asleep by 8. That's my routine, and I'm gonna use that routine. I'm gonna stick to that 7 days a week, whether I'm at work, whether I'm not working today, whether I'm on a holiday. That's what I'm doing 7 days a week. I train 6 days a week. My one day that I don't train, like on the Sunday, I'll go to the gym and I just, I'll go on the treadmill for about 45 minutes. That's it. I didn't care. Like, that's what I'm gonna stick to, and that's what's gonna make me get to 10% body fat. And yeah, I gotta go to work. It's been great. That's basically why, the reason why I'm doing this is I want to hold myself accountable for anything. Like, I have to do this. This is my plan. This is my motivation. So yeah.